tip number 2 is obviously set appropriate goals, and marathon experience goes hand in hand with that as well. If you've run a marathon before, you know what your time was, and that will help you set an appropriate goal for your next marathon. You know, you might think, well, I feel definitely fitter than I was. I'm training harder than I was when I did my first marathon, so I think I could probably run, you know, maybe 10, 15 minutes faster. Most people, I find most runners don't have delusions of grandeur when it comes to setting goals. A few do. A few think they're superheroes when they're not, but most are pretty good at setting appropriate goals, and it only takes one really bad goal to correct you. You know, when you think you can win a marathon and you end up, you know, somewhere in the middle of the pack, you're not going to try to win any more marathons after that. You'll probably set appropriate goals from then on. If you haven't done a marathon before, or you feel you've improved so much since your last marathon that you have no concept, you can use what are called race equivalency calculators to help you set an appropriate goal. What you do is you run a 10K or a half marathon or even a 5K, and there are tables or actual online calculators that you can use to find an equivalent performance for the marathon distance. There's a really good one at McMillanRunningGot.com that I like to use. I'll run a tune-up race at 10K, I'll punch in my time if I'm training for a marathon, and it will tell me, you know, basically it's telling you if you would run a marathon today instead, this is probably the time you would have run. And those can help you. You can't rely on them completely, but they can help you sort of zero in. I like to keep my marathon goals very soft until maybe 2 weeks before, when I'm constantly tweaking them based on improvements in my fitness, because you can't predict exactly how fast you'll improve over a long course of training for a marathon. And you know, I sort of come up with a final hard goal for a marathon maybe about 2 weeks out, and those calculators are helpful in that process. And that's one reason to do tune-up races, is that they can be a gauge of your fitness level in the process of training towards a marathon.